And we are live. I hope. I believe we're live. Yes. Yep, we are live. Good evening, everyone. Let's see who we got here. I think I'm live. I'm not seeing me on there, so I think I am. Yes, I am live. Oh, good deal. We got half the family's already here. Of course, 7 Pearls. My dear sister, she messaged me, and I was on the motorbike, and I seen it when it popped up on the screen, and I was going to respond to her when I got home, and I completely forgot about it until just a minute ago when I was setting up for this show. I was looking for some information in my phone, and I seen it, and I was like, oh, my Lord. I can't believe that I missed her message. And Audrey is part of our family here, and we did a prayer request for Audrey and her son, Stoney, not too long ago. Audrey just had a heart surgery just a couple of days ago, and she's got to go in, I believe, this Friday, and she's having carpal tunnel surgery done. So please add Audrey to your prayers. Our sister Audrey, she may be here tonight with us, and either way, even if she hadn't, please pray for her, and pray for her doctors that their hands are accurate and the surgery comes out of flaming success. All right, we got 7 Pearls and brother Kevin. Kevin is here in Short Island, Smallfoot. I love it. And there's Jody. Good deal. That clicking is the mouse. I can do it with the little pad thing on the computer, but I have to watch what I'm doing, so I can't see it. Coin Digger. It's good to see you, brother. Always. And of course, brother Don. Don has sent. We have a bunch more articles that brother Don has sent us. We'll be sharing those with everyone tonight. And Malachi. I don't know what happened. It just jumped. I was trying to see who all was here tonight. Just greeting everyone. Make sure we don't miss anybody. I know I've seen Malachi. There's Malachi. So good to see everyone in the Tord Zone. God bless you. I'm glad you made it. And our brother Mike Deere and Mike Bishop. Both the brother Mikes here. Well, what a blessed evening this is going to be. Ida Bustamante. It's awesome to see you as well. And our brother Franklin. I'm trying not to miss nobody. But yeah, happy Sunday indeed. Happy Sunday, brother Mike, and everyone else here. Thank you so much for hopping over. It's always just a phenomenal blessing. Just seeing you guys pop up. It's amazing, and I love it. Thank you so much. Bama Bigfoot, always good to see you. And there's our brother Mitch. Welcome, brother. And we got Bob's down there. Babs. It's Barbara. I had to change my name for a minute. Yep, absolutely. We got you. I don't read so good. I got a blur right there on this lens, and I tried to wipe it, and it got bigger. And I'm wiping on it for 10 minutes, and it just keeps moving around. So I'm going to leave it where it's at. I can see a little bit. Tom Paul Cajun. And, of course, Patrick Noble. Yep, that's my hunting beard. It is. And not even joking. I grow this out, and when season starts, I grow all of this out. And when you guys see me shave all of this off the sides, I'm probably going to grow this for a while. But when I shave all of this off, then you know that I've made my first harvest for the year. This is something I've done for 20 years, I guess. I don't shave until I get my first harvest, and that's my get clean beginning. Seen Denise in there somewhere. There she is, discovering Sasquatch and cryptids with Denise. We got Maggie in the house. Good deal. What an awesome turnout. thank you all so much. And I'm going to catch everyone up here in a minute. What else has been going on? I just want to make sure I'm not missing nobody. And brother Gene Fox, Green Mountain Droning. He's got some just beautiful footage on his channel. Gene Fox, Green Mountain Droning. You got to check them videos out. I actually watched some of his videos, and it gave me ideas on how to make my drone footage better. And that's where I watch how he does it, and I tried to replicate it. I'm nowhere near as good as what he is, but it's definitely helped my videos out. So thank you so much, Brother Gene. Good deal. Well, I'll catch you up what's been going on. Kim had to go to Central Florida last Friday, a week ago this past Friday. So I've had Rosie here. It's been me and her. We were in the process of giving dewormers to the goats, and several of them needed a follow-up, and it had to be done. And to handle a 50-pound goat by yourself is hard. To do one that's 150 or 200 is impossible. And I've been battling with that, trying to get them wormed, and it's rough. It's been a really rough time. Hey, Gene. Gene has made it. Good deal. But anyhow, I went to check memory cards and the game camera Thursday, and Rosie's school called me, and the lady says, I was coming home, and she called and said, hey, did you know that Rosie was exposed to the cooties? Hey, brother Jeff's here and Cindy's here. Oh, awesome. And I said, no, I didn't know. This is the first I'm hearing about it. And this was Thursday, just a few days ago. And so I asked her, I said, when was she exposed? This is the first I'm hearing about it. And she said, oh, it was last Friday. And that did not sit well with me. Hey, Addie Overbay, welcome. Everybody's welcome here, always. And anyhow, I got really upset over she's been exposed over a week, and you're just now telling me, and you're letting her get on the bus with other children. And anyway, I said to her, I guess I need to go over there and pick her up from school. And she said, oh no, we already put her on the bus to come home. And so I've been dealing with that, and I've had no time at all to do everything. Get Rosie fed and get her in bed, showered, cleaned up, in bed by 8 o'clock. And there's no way I could have done a show. It takes me a little while to get set up for a show. And I have to be up at 4 o'clock to make sure I can get Rosie up and get her dressed and ready for school. And I haven't had time. But Kim came back last night, and so here we are tonight. And she'll be here a while. Can the goats get heartworms like dogs? They can get a heartworm. It's a different heartworm. We've never dealt with it. The worms the goats get, most of them are dangerous parasites. They really take a toll on them hard. And the worst one that we've dealt with is the barber poleworm. We've never had it until this year, and we lost 3 goats from it. But all the other farms that we work with, the goat farms, some of them have lost close to 100 head, and it's been Hurricane Michael stirred something up, and all these farms that have never dealt with it have their hands full with it. They're having a lot of issues. We got a broad spectrum wormer or dewormer that is for cattle and sheep, and we've talked to several of our veterinarians. We work with a bunch of them, or they work with us. I'm not sure which way that goes, and we asked them about this other dewormer, And they said, yes, absolutely, you can give it to them. And we did, and the difference is night and day. It is so far better than anything we've ever used. Wonderful stuff. But anyhow, goats are really good. Let's see. Bobcat 325. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What are cookies? Never. I'm sorry. Cooties is what I think that's what you were referring to. Cooties. That thing that's spreading around and people are catching it and getting sick. I'm just not using the name of it. I call it cooties. And it doesn't take away from how serious it is. It is very dangerous, very serious. But for me personally, I call it cooties. You know, if you ever get sick, you have something bad happen with you, every time that you speak it, you give it power. And our tongue is a dangerous, dangerous thing. And I just choose not to take any chances. But I think that's what you were referring to. Yeah. If you hear me say cooties, I'm referring to that bug that's going around that people are catching. And it's altering the way it affects people. But anyhow, that's what it is. Stevie B's here. God bless you. Well, we have definitely been blessed tonight. I sure hope you're doing well. Absolutely. This is our sister Stephanie. She's had a rough go, and you guys know what happened with her, and all of you come together and got prayers out for her, and here she is in the chat. We are absolutely blessed with your presence tonight, my sister. Thank you so much for coming over. That is awesome. Hoosier Squatch is here. Wow, we got everybody. What a wonderful evening. We got I was hoping, I'm watching the chat. I'm looking for someone in particular, and I'm hoping she will come in. She sent some stuff to me, and I haven't been able to get it out. It's really hard in here. It's dark where I'm at right now, and I got this big ring light, and no matter which color I set it on, it's all right for reading in the book, but trying to read on my phone screen, it really messes with my eyes. It's really hard. And our sister Francesca has sent me some stuff a couple of weeks ago. And I finally gotten around with help from Brother Don, who's in the chat, got it printed up, and I've got it, and I'm going to be sharing some of that. And it's going off. We are jumping. We're going to hop around. And if those of you that have not read the description in this one, I did put it in there that whatever I share on here, you know, whatever you guys or anybody else sends to me to share, we'll share it, provided it's, you know, it's not going to attack anybody through racism, bullying, anything of the sort. But the stuff that's sent to me, when I post it, it's not to lead you to believe or not to believe. I'm only sharing. And whatever your gut feel, that gut feeling you get, whatever it tells you to do, you know, follow that. Many of you will believe and many of you won't. And it's just the way we were created. God gives us his free will to do that, to choose and decide how we feel about things. So if there's something that I share, if you don't agree with it, you know, that's fine. Dialogue is always good, but you know, there's a way to do it respectfully and not to bash anyone. We've got some new people, our family here that have been with us for a long time, but they are new as far as moderators. Every now and then we get someone that passes through, and it starts to feel like they're trying to lead into insulting or attacking people, and we're just not going to have it. And I put in the description for the new people. I know everybody here now, we don't have to worry with it, but with the new people passing through, if they do something and the moderator puts them in timeout, or if they choose to remove that person from the chat, I leave everything up to the moderators. If they feel that person needs to be removed, then I'm behind the moderator 100%. And it's just how we operate. You know, the moderators are the police for the chat, and we don't want no attacking. This is not a political channel. We're not racist. We're here to love, honor, and respect one another, and just have a good time, and hopefully learn something new. You know, I'm right here. All this stuff that I'm getting and reading with you, I haven't read but a very small portion of it. The first time I'm reading almost all of it is when I start sharing with you. So I mess up on a lot of the pronunciations. So please forgive me for that. I thought I'd seen, oh, Hobbs. Hobbs is here. Good deal. I want to make sure we haven't missed nobody. We got quite a bit. Got a pile of stuff actually to share with you. And I was hoping that Francesca would hop in, and because I want to share her stuff too. It's rather long. She's got quite a few different things, but it's interesting. It's fascinating stuff, and it's the type thing that you're going to find down in that rabbit hole, and we're going to get it out. Whether you believe or not believe, it's totally up to you. Hey, Randy. No, you ain't never late. Never late, brother. You're right on time. You're not late. I may be early. And I actually thought I was going to be late, but thankfully I barely made it. All right. Let's get my book. I don't have much operating space in here. I got to make some room. We're going to be rearranging this room. Riker. Oh, cool. I am so glad. So glad Riker's here. I didn't see him in there earlier, and I was definitely looking. But we're going to be rearranging all this in here. We got to get rid of a lot of stuff. When Kim and I got married, I moved in with her, and so the house is already full, and then I moved my belongings in here. So we're going to be doing a lot of thinning out. We're going to set up a regular, like a studio in here, to where I got room to work. I can set the computer up and have my, you know, if we're doing reading shares, then I'll have room to do that. I'm so limited. I mean, this is a desk right here behind me, and that goes behind me here. The wall is right here. So I'm kind of boxed in, but it's all good. There's Audrey. God bless you, my sister. I'm glad you made it. And that is Audrey. For those of you that are jumping in now, Audrey just had a surgery on her heart, and she's having her carpal tunnel fixed through surgery, I believe this Friday. So please pray for her. Pray for her doctors, her surgeons, that they are precise and accurate, and she comes out better than she ever was. Get her sister back on the road and back going full speed ahead. And we're going to get to a point a little later, and I'm going to get her to come on and pay us a visit. I'm trying to find me a starting point. I am dragging this out a little bit. Please forgive me. I'm hoping Francesca hops in, so I'm trying to keep my eye out for her, because these are her articles that she had shared with us, and very interesting stuff, very fascinating. And whatever you hear me read on here, regardless of which way it goes, I'm not only reading stuff that I believe in or I support. I'm reading what was shared with me. And I don't always agree with it, but I read it and let you guys decide what y'all feel about it. And if someone sends me something, there's a reason they felt the need to get it out. And so I'm going to share it. And it doesn't matter if I agree or disagree, or if I like it or don't like it. I'm definitely going to get it out. All right, these have some pictures also associated with them, so I'll probably have to take this one out. And let's see, I've not seen her show up. If you guys are all right with it, we'll I'll do some of the news articles, the old articles, and then when I see that she's made it, then we'll do some some of hers too. I think it's 3 of them here, 3 or 4 of them. I just want her to be here. She's been, her and I have been talking through email. Oh, my nose is itching. I'm trying not to sneeze. Oh. And I'm probably going to anyway. I'm not sick. I don't have a cold or nothing. Just my nose is bothering me. Act 66781 fan. Okay, I'm not sure what that is. Tom. Oh, good deal. Tom, welcome, brother. You're always welcome here. Welcome to our family. And we got Avi's here. Good deal. Always good to see Avi. Avi's up in Oklahoma. He's a little ride from us. We're in the panhandle of Florida. For those that don't know, I think everyone here knows where we're at. Good deal. Yep, Tom, we're glad you're here, buddy. Always. You know, we got a good thing going here. You know, we just supporting one another, loving one another, and do what's best in our own heart and in the eyes of the Lord, hopefully. Oh, Daniel's here too. Good. I ain't seen Daniel in a little while, but it's good to see him now. That's a definite. I'm hoping that my glasses don't mess me up. I've had Brother Don sent me some stuff. We had to go back and add to a couple of sections that we've went over. They are different articles. They are not the same article, but it's just some additions that he sent to go, because we did a lot of them by state. I'm using napkins as bookmarks. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. And this, where we're going to start at with these articles is in Missouri. So if you guys are ready, we will start. And I don't see Francesca yet, but she'll be here. Hopefully, she's just running a little late or a little busy, but it's all good. All right, we're going to get on with it. All right, this article is titled "The Blue Man of Spring Creek, Missouri, in the years 1865 to 1915. The location was Spring Creek, Missouri, in Douglas County. And the sources for this news articles is the Star of Kansas City in Missouri, June 27th, 1915, and October 24th, 1915, and also the Republican Press of Salamanca, New York, February 20th, 1925. It's titled, first section, Saul, the Blue Man of the Ozarks. Famous creature was observed again by woodsmen. Willow Springs, Missouri, June 26th. The periodical reappearance of the Blue Man of Spring Creek was reported by the haulers who reached this city yesterday from Douglas County. The supposed wild man had not been seen at his old haunt since 1911 until about 6 weeks ago, when O.C. Collins, while searching for 2 lambs, got a glimpse of the man while he was attempting to capture a hog. Since then, other persons have seen the Blue Man. According to word brought in by the tie haulers, Jay Tabor saw him a week ago, but he ran up the mountainside. Tabor told his neighbors that the man's hair is now white, but that he is still powerful looking. The Blue Man of Spring Creek was reported in the wilds of Douglas County as early as 1865. Blue Saul Collins, a noted hunter, supposed he was following the tracks of a bear in the snow when he suddenly caught a glimpse of the object of his search. Blue Saul said long black hair covered the body of the man and that he wore a breechcloth and shoulder piece made of the skins of wild animals. He also wore moccasins, and the thongs which held them together made prints in the snow like the claws of a bear. Blue Saw was forced to flee for his life when the wild man began hurling huge boulders at him down the mountainside. He has been reported as having been seen several times since then. A posse of farmers located his den in 1911. They said the floor was littered with sheep pelts, skins of wild animals, and bones left from feasts. The Wild Man of the Ozarks. Terror reigns supreme in the Spring Creek country. Fear grips the hearts of those Ozark mountaineers. From Tater Hill to Collins Ford, and from Blue Buck Mountain to the Ava Crossing, many miles to the west, people are searching for the Blue Man of Spring Creek. No cattle are allowed to graze on the long wild grass. The sheep that range on the hill slopes are watched by herders, silent, determined hillmen with long-range rifles. Each night, all livestock is locked up. Nobody ventures away from his home unarmed. The churches are closed. Probably no attempt will be made to open the schools soon. People, armed with shotguns and rifles, search the woods, over the hills and across the valleys, up the ravines, through glade and glen, anywhere, everywhere, for the Blue Man of Spring Creek. Some weeks ago, the Blue Man was seen on Spring Creek, 4 miles from Old Horton, the first time he had reappeared in this country since May of 1911. O.C. Collins had lost 2 lambs. He went to search for them through the woods and found their pelts in a hollow tree. The next day, he saw the Blue Man chasing a hog on the range near the mouth of Spring Creek. 2 days later, Cap Turner saw him catching fish with his hands in the Big Indian Creek. In the twinkling of an eye, he saw Turner, and swinging an immense club wildly, the Blue Man chased the intruder up the steep hillside. On Sunday, 2 boys who were swimming in Spring Creek near the Collins Ford saw the Blue Man stealthily creep down the rugged mountainside, grab a full-grown sheep from a flock grazing in the hollow, and carry it into a nearby cave. The boys at once set out to spread the news. A posse was soon organized. Nearly a score of men were climbing up the mountain to the entrance of the cave when the Blue Man stepped out of the hole, gazed for a full half-minute at the posse, and again disappeared into the opening. Among the posse was Cal Alsop, a man of extraordinary courage and daring. Taking a short-barreled shotgun for a weapon, he sprang into the cave den after the terrible Blue Man. The posse heard such commotion inside the cave. They heard Cal Alsop discharge both barrels of his shotgun, then all was quiet. They waited at the mouth of the cave den for a long time, probably 2 hours. They shouted into the cave, but only the echoes answered. Not one of the posse dared enter the hole in the mountainside in search of their companion. Surely this awful wild man, who had killed so many of their animals, had made short work of Alsop. But not so. Alsop soon appeared over the crest of the ridge from the opposite side of the divide. He had followed the Blue Man through an underground passage to an opening 2 miles away. When Alsop first entered the cave, the Blue Man showed fight, but when the gun was fired, the wild creature fled. His assailant followed, but was soon outdistanced. The darkness was intense, and many times when Alsop groped along, he stumbled over objects he knew to be withered pelts of sheep or the dried-up hides of hogs and calves that long ago had made meals for the Blue Man. None except this wild creature had known of this mammoth cave and subterranean passage until Alsop made his exploration. The floor was littered with feathers, pelts, hair, and bones, but nothing in the cave indicated the Blue Man had any knowledge of the use of fire. Since eluding his pursuers so successfully, the Blue Man had been seen again, this time at Ava Crossing on Indiana Creek, and by a woman, Pamrella Collins. He was catching crayfish from under rocks in the creek, biting off and eating their tails. He saw the woman, but contented himself by allowing her to do all the running, while he quietly finished his meal. This is not the blue man's first visit to the hills. Indeed, he may be called an old settler. He has been in the Spring Creek country many times during the past century, or the past half century. His first appearance. One morning in the early spring of 1865, 50 years ago, Blue Saul Collins, who lived on Upper Indian Creek, set out for his daily hunt. Blue Saul was past 60 and had lived in the Ozarks since early youth. He lived by hunting, trapping, and fishing. On this particular day, he decided to hunt deer far to the west. A light snow had fallen the night before. The woodland was covered with a myriad of tracks, deer tracks, wolf tracks, turkey tracks, rabbit, fox, and coon tracks, but most noticeable were long, broad tracks with claw-like impressions in the soft snow. Blue Saul had come after deer, but if he could get a bear, and those big tracks with the claw prints were surely the tracks of the biggest bear in the Ozarks. The deer could wait. He set out on the trail. After following the long, broad tracks for several hours, Blue Saul was beginning to lose hope. Just before sundown, he came suddenly upon the object of his search, as he was climbing the north slope of Upper Twin Mountain. Collins looked, jumped out of the path of several descending boulders, and ran. He hardly slackened his pace until he had reached home. On the mountainside above him, a giant figure, unmistakably human, had hurled huge rocks at him. A figure nearly 7 feet high, powerful, gorilla-like arms, a mat of blue-black hair covered his body. He wore a shoulder piece and a breechcloth of some animal skin. His feet were covered with deer-hide moccasins, held together by thongs of buckskin that made the claw-like appearance in the snow. By his side was a huge club 6 or 7 feet long, which he probably used in hand-to-hand conflicts. Blue Saul Collins never saw the wild man again. 5 years later, Saul was killed by a wounded buck near Rosin Ridge in western Howell County. His regular raids. In 1874, the blue man was said to have been seen again. Tom Green had carried a bushel of corn and an empty jug to Demwright's mill and steel house on North Fork. Somewhere on the return trip, he couldn't remember just where, he had seen the blue man. According to Tom, the wild man was carrying a cow. He has acted very vicious and had given vent to his feelings by roaring like a lion and chasing Tom down the trail about half a mile. No credence was given to Green's story. But the blue man was seen many times between 1874 and 1890. During those years, he made his home in the Spring Creek Hills, stealing small stock from the different farmers as he pleased, and nobody paid any particular attention to him. In time, he disappeared and everybody supposed him dead, but in 1911 he came back. A posse headed by O.C. Collins raided his den, and finding him gone, they set a large saw-toothed bear trap on the floor of his cave. By some peculiar accident, the blue man was caught by 2 fingers. Knowing of no better way to get loose than by giving up his fingers, he pulled them off at the second joints, where the trap had nearly cut them in 2. After losing his fingers, the blue man disappeared again, this time for 4 years. He reappeared in his old haunts last May. He is not as robust as he was 50 years ago, when he threw boulders at Blue Saul Collins. His once blue-black hair is now snowy white. His body is lean and gaunt, but his muscles are not flabby. He is erect and very fleet of foot. He is an old man, but powerful withal. Who is he? Who is the wild, hairy giant of the hills? Nobody knows. 2 traditions are handed down about him, either of which may be true. According to one story, he is French, Spanish, and Indian blood. a descendant of traders who visited this country before the Revolution. One of the traders was accompanied by a beautiful Spanish woman from Florida. He cast her aside somewhere in the Ozarks. She was adopted by an Indian tribe and became the chief's wife. The Blue Man of Spring Creek is their grandson. The Blue Man's mother, a daughter of the Spanish woman, was very beautiful. When only 15 years old, she ran away with a young Frenchman. They went to live in the caves of the hills away from the Indians. They were killed by warriors of a hostile Indian tribe when the Blue Man was a mere child. He escaped and remained in the hills which he knew so well. Thus thrown on his own resources, he became a wild man-animal of the forest. Such was the story of Jerry Heidelbrand, who settled in Douglas County in the early part of the last century and died there in 1885. The other tradition about the Blue Man says he is a child of the Lost Camp. Many years before the Civil War, a family of pioneers bound for the far west camped in a fertile valley of Howell County, now known as Lost Camp Valley. Howell County at that time was a dense wilderness. Mighty forests stood on every hand. The wolf and bear ruled supreme. Sometime during the night, the mover's 6-year-old son disappeared from the camp. Not until morning did his parents know he was gone. They searched everywhere for him, but to no avail. He was never found. His mother died of a broken heart, and his father went on toward the gold fields. Some folks think the Blue Man of Spring Creek is the same person who 80 years ago wandered away from the campfire in his sleep. The legend of Blue Man, told again in the Ozarks. Ava, Missouri, with renewed reports of depredations by panthers and other animals in the wilds of the Ozark Mountains, the older residents of Douglas County are recalling the legend of the Blue Man of Spring Creek. This is one of the many legends of the Ozark country and the pioneer residents that declare that it is true. It deals with a huge man-like creature more than 9 feet high, of a purple color, which is said to have terrorized the countryside nearly 60 years ago. Many of the old residents have declared that they saw the creature, and one man asserts he had a hair-raising encounter with it. Holy moly. Trying to flip my page. Okay. That was a long one, but a good one. The Blue Man. Any of y'all up in that area, Missouri, ever heard that encounter or that story? It was very, very old. Go up and see. Excuse me. All right. I'm just checking to see if Francesca had made it. All right. This next one is short. This one is Alton, Missouri wildman sighting of 1925. The location of this report was near Alton, Missouri in Oregon County. The newspaper source was the Chillicothe Constitution of Chillicothe, Missouri, June 27, 1925. It's titled, Wild Man is Found Near Alton, Missouri. A wild man has been seen in the vicinity of Alton, according to the Alton South Missourian Democrat. The first report received of the wild man was from the State Highway Gang, northeast of Alton. They said it walked upright like a man. Lewis Bates, who lived on the Greer Road, northeast of Alton, said he was riding a mule and came up within 50 yards of the wild man and could see him plainly. He said it looked like an animal, was rather brown with hair all over its body and had the face something like a monkey. I believe he come across a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, the caveman. Well, And that was the Missouri articles. I'm gonna move over to. We're gonna skip ahead. We're gonna be hopping around a little bit, but it's all good. Sometimes it's always good. Okay. Make sure I am on the right one. All right, these are, I believe this is Massachusetts. Let me make sure. Yes, these are the Massachusetts. Hey, Makaira. Oh, I'm glad you made it. It's good to see you. Tell the babies I say hello and I love them. And there's Jamie. Good deal. There's probably other people that hopped in that I missed. I hope not. But we'll make sure we greet everybody prudently. Welcome. It's good to see you. And Paradox Fossils. Hallelujah. We have the full house tonight. That is amazing. Good deal. Good deal. Yep, Makaira that's my baby girl. And she's got my little babies. My grandbabies. So good to see all of you. All right, we are jumping in. Let me see. I think we got a few different ones in Missouri. I believe there's 4 or 5 in here. There's quite a. These are short ones for the most part. Hey, Mark. I guess you just got here. I just happened to see you. I hope I haven't missed you earlier. Very nice to see you. Got the whole family here. Family reunion. Digital reunion. So no food fights. That takes the fun out of it. It's all good. We don't waste food. Okay, we are. This one. Yes, we are in Massachusetts. I had to make sure. JK's made it. Good deal. We are wonderful. Everybody is wonderful, I hope. Brother Mike V is here. That is awesome. They need to make it where everybody's picture will pop up on the side, little square pictures of everyone where you could see them, like a live screen. That would be very confusing to try to see everybody. But it's all good. All right, we're going to start here. All right, this is North Adams, Stamford, Massachusetts sighting in the year 1861. The location was between North Adams and Stamford, Massachusetts, in Berkshire County. The newspaper source for these articles was the Berkshire County Eagle of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, and the Daily Whig and Courier of Bangor, Maine, in 1861. Big Humbug. It is believed that there is a wild man in the woods between North Adams and Stamford. He has been seen several times, and his shrieks at night have been heard. There was a report in North Adams last Monday that the wild man had been captured, and hundreds wended their way to a place where the strange man was said to be confined. Crowds entered the shed and gazed upon the strange being who was chained and immovable in the corner with a long beard and glassy eyes. Men went so far as to shut up their stores and discontinue businesses to take a peep at this celebrated individual, while crinoline from the factories and dwellings crowded the highway in eager haste. After a large number had been humbugged by an image which was got up for the frolicsome students of Williamstown, the hoax leaped out. It seems that the wild man of the woods, whose appearance has created so much consternation in northern Adams, Massachusetts, and in the adjoining towns across the Vermont line. Turns out to be a student at Williamstown who assumed the gorilla guise in a frolic, which might have cost him his life. In Vermont, he was pursued with guns, but so frightened his pursuers by his hideous appearance that they could not shoot straight, and he escaped harm. That is a very strange report. I don't think I understand that one. I think it was a student wearing a disguise, but they had some type of creature chained up in a shed, and everybody got to see it. I don't know. That one's kind of got me a little internal conflict. All right, now we're moving on to, all right. This one's the mountains south of Williamstown, Massachusetts. And this encounter is dated 1879. The location is the mountains south of Williamstown, Massachusetts in Berkshire County. The newspaper sources for this encounter is the Times of New York in October 18th, 1879, and Daily Free Press of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, October 31st, 1879. It's titled A Wild Man of the Mountains. Two young Vermont hunters terribly scared. Pownall, Vermont, October 17th. Much excitement prevailed among the sportsmen of this vicinity over the story that a wild man was seen on Friday last by two young men while hunting in the mountains of South Williamstown. The young men described the creatures being about 5 feet high, resembling a man in form and movement, but covered all over with bright red hair and having a long, straggling beard and with very wild eyes. When first seen, the creature sprang from behind a rocky cliff and started for the woods nearby. When mistaking it for a bear or other wild animal, one of the men fired and it is thought wounded it, for the fierce cries of pain and rage. It turned on its assailants, driving them before it at high speed. They lost their guns and ammunition in their flight and dared not return for fear of encountering the strange being. There's an old story told many years ago of a strange animal frequently seen among the range of the Green Mountains, resembling a man in appearance, but so wild that no one could approach it near enough to tell what it was or where it dwelt. From time to time, hunting parties in the early days of the town used to go out in pursuit of it, but of late years no trace of it has been seen, and this story, told by young men who claim to have seen it, revives again the old story of the wild man of the mountains. There was talk of making up a party to go in search of the creature. And excuse me. Pittsfield, Massachusetts. The letter to New York Sun. Two Vermont hunters, John Simmons and William Sheegan, aver that they met with a strange adventure a day or two since on the Pine Gravel Peak, just east of Blackington Village, about 4 miles north of North Adams. This pine-capped peak was some years ago the resort of wild animals, and of late it has been seldom visited. The story of the hunters is that while hunting in the vicinity of this mountain, they heard a slight noise near a rugged cliff and saw a huge hairy object, apparently half man and half beast, spring from behind the cliff and start for the woods, running with the speed of the wind. Mistaking it for a wild animal, one of the hunters fired at it. The shot appeared to take effect in the arm, for with a scream of pain, the creature halted, tapped the wound, and turning, charged its pursuers, who with empty guns in hand dared not measure strength with such a foe. Dropping their guns, dropping their guns both sought safety in flight and stopped only when compelled to do so for lack of ability to run further. The men say they are positive the creature resembled a man in its general appearance. It was wild-eyed and very fierce in its disposition, judging from a short time they saw it. The hunter's story revives the long-forgotten but now distinctly recalled yarn to the effect that many years ago a lunatic, then a young man, escaped from his keepers from somewhere near the New York state line and gained the mountain fastness, where he evaded pursuit, and it is thought subsisted on berries and the flesh of animals killed through some means best known to himself. Several years later, a strange creature, answering the description of the being recently seen, with the exception of the grizzly beard, was discovered by a party who were burying on the mountain, and it is thought that this may be the same. I don't think it, if you're a lunatic and you got lost in the woods, I don't think you grow hair like that all over your body. But there's no telling. I don't plan on getting out there and getting lost. I hope not. That noise you hear is Gracie, our deaf puppy. That's the one on the thumbnail for this show. That's her walking around. She knows I'm in here. She can't hear me, but she can. I think she's seeing the light through. I got a little false wall here beside me. Let me see. All right. All right, we got a few more short ones here. These are all newspaper articles for those of you that are new, just stopping by. These are news articles from a very long time ago, and we're just sharing these articles with everyone, and these articles were shared with me by our brother Don Moore, who's in the chat right now. He has shared a ton of them with us, and there's more coming. So let's see, we'll get on. We're still in Massachusetts, and this is in Webster, Massachusetts. The year is 1908. The location is Webster, Massachusetts in Worcester County. The newspaper from this article is called Evening Call of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, July 17th, 1908. Titled, Wild Man Scares Webster People. Seen in a berry pasture on Orchard Road, woman and boy sighted queer-looking individual and fled, and it makes appearance annually. In Webster, Massachusetts, July 16th, political, social, and business circles here were stirred yesterday by the report that a wild man had been seen up in a berry pasture on the Orchard Road. It is getting to be a pretty well-established thing for the wild man to show up here once a year. Whether the town is merely one of many on his itinerary, or whether he comes out of his hole somewhere nearby once a year is not known. It is said, however, that every year he gets a bit wilder. This year he frightened Miss Paul Lanfier of West Street, her son Paul, Katie Langlois, Wilfred Langlois, and Howard Steele, all of whom were picking berries, by suddenly appearing in a bunch of tall bushes and starting toward them with a whoop. Terror evidently lent wings to their feet. Anyway, the wild man was outdistanced like a selling plater. The town is breathing easier now that his annual visit is just a thing of the past. Terror evidently lent wings to their feet. I have not heard that one yet. I'm sorry. I like that. That cracked me up. Terror lent wings to their feet, and they got out of there. All right. This is just a short article. And this was in Sandwich, New Hampshire, sighting of 1942. The location was Sandwich, New Hampshire, in Carroll County. The source of this information is a report from former investigator John Green. In 1978, John Green noted a 1942 reported sighting in central Sandwich. The creature was 6 to 7 feet tall and gorilla-like, walking on two legs. It followed the witness for about 20 minutes. And there's several of these little short clippings like that, but there's also a lot of long ones. There's some very fascinating stuff. All of them are fascinating, but there are a lot of short ones. This is another one. I actually got these last two in the wrong section, but that's right. This one is the Vermont State Tales. The year and location is unknown, and the information source for this is just local folklore. In the Vermont folklore of Old Slippery Skin may have some connection to Bigfoot. This giant bear-like creature was said to walk and run on its hind legs. And that's, yes, it's short. It's very short. But yep, that's it. And we've got plenty of more. Where are we at? I think let's see. Yeah, we have a pile of them. I don't know. Oh, hey, Ken. Paul is here too. Good deal. I didn't see either one of you guys in here. Guys and gals. I'm just looking back. I want to make sure that I don't know if Francesca is here tonight. We may go ahead and get into some of her articles too. I do want to get them out. All right, baby. Good night. Let me see. We'll come back and mark this one so I don't miss it. And because this is, I believe, Indiana's. Yeah, that would be Indiana's. And Texas. We got quite a few more to go. All right, and we're going to get on. Now, this one here is going to definitely take us down the rabbit hole. And again, you guys, hey, Denise, I just happened to see you. Hop in. She is here. Awesome. 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 I'm going to pull this article out because there are some pictures. I'm going to try to hold them up where you guys can see it once we get to that part of it. And Brother Don has done an absolute amazing job organizing this for me. I mean, just a phenomenal job. I'm so appreciative. Thank you so very much. And these articles we're fixing to go over. Now, this is from our sister Francesca, who is part of us here. And Brother Don printed them off for me and got them organized and put together, and he sent them up to me. Our printer is not working, but Kim did pick up the other printer from her dad, and we have it here. I just have to get it connected and online, and I have nowhere right now to put it in here. But we will be making room within the next few days, so it will be much, much easier. Now, this stuff is going to take us, like I said, down the rabbit hole. We're going to be going in just odd places. This is articles that Francesca had found. If you don't believe it or you don't fall in line with it, it's up to you to decide where you stand with this stuff. Hey, Nancy. Nope, you're not late. Never late. Dundee Woolly. Yeah, I don't know why people are not getting the notifications. I don't get them either. From only very few channels, I don't get any notifications for any channel that does anything in regards to Bigfoot. I don't get any of the notifications at all. I get just about everything else. Who else we got? Oh, JD's here. Awesome. And Ken. Awesome. Everybody's here, I believe. We got a full house. That is amazing. All right. This one, guys, this may confuse you. I don't know what you're going to think or how you're going to feel about it. And it just goes in line with what I was saying, earlier in the beginning. Whatever I share with y'all, it's not that I believe or disbelieve in it, but it gives us just something else to think about. And if it's against your beliefs altogether, just take it as you will. If you don't agree with it, it's fine. We're just putting it out there. People share it. They send it to me so that I'll share it with everyone here. And that's what I do. And everything that I get, I don't always agree with it. But I'm going to share it anyway. And I'm not going to knock something down if I don't agree with it. These, I have not read all of these at all. I've read part of it, and it was extremely fascinating, but I didn't have time to sit down and finish reading them. So hopefully that's the dog you guys hear hitting the door. So if this goes against your beliefs, just please be kind. It was information shared. The things I believe in, it doesn't matter if I share something that is completely against my beliefs. I'm sharing it because someone sent it to me and they asked me to share it. And they wanted me to share it, and that's what I'm doing. But it's just for you to decide, how you feel about different things. And this is going in a different direction. I'm going to try to figure out how to start this. These were really long writings. And I got to figure out exactly how to read it from the very beginning. It confuses me. I don't really understand it. The title on this is Hereditary Gigantism, the Biblical Giant Goliath and His Brothers. All right, I'm just going to, should I start with, yeah, I'm just going to read it, start to finish. Hopefully it'll come out all right. I'm going to start with the abstract. The biblical giant Goliath has been an identifiable family tree suggestive of autosomal dominant inheritance. We suggest that he had a hereditary pituitary disorder, possibly due to the AIP gene, causing early onset of familial acromegaly or gigantism. I'm sorry, I can't say anything tonight. We just call it gigantism. That's much easier. We comment on the evidence within the scriptures for his other relatives, including a relative with 6 digits, and speculate on possible causes of the 6 digits. Recognition of a hereditary pituitary disorder in the biblical Goliath and his family sheds additional information on his and other family members' battles with David and his relatives. And the introduction we're moving into now. Giants have been around since time began. They are first described in the Bible in the book of Genesis. Originally, giants appear to have been regarded positively, often considered as heroes, particularly by the non-Hebrew population. After the Great Flood, giants remained present in the scriptural text, but their good reputation had waned in the eyes of the Hebrews, and they often tended to be seen as the enemy, often fighting in armies. Giants lived together as a number of separate races before and after the flood. The exact relations between different families of giants are a little unclear. For example, the Nephilim appear to be present before and after the flood. The Emites, or the Ammonites, or Anakites, and the Raphaim existed after the flood and appear to be separate entities, although the chronicler often uses the phrase like, suggesting they had a similar phenotype. The Anakim seem to be derived from the Nephilim. The Raphaim, also, although similar to the Nephilim, appear to be distinct from them with respect to the family lineage. Deuteronomy states that Raphaim were largely subdued by the Ammonites, which dwelt in their stead. One of the most prominent Raphaim was Og, king of Bashan, who slept in a bedstead of iron. 9 cubits was the length, and 4 cubits the breadth of it, in Deuteronomy 3:11. A cubit was the distance from the elbow to the fingertips. He appeared to be one of the last survivors of the Raphaim. A race of giants implies a hereditary element, and the origins of some names may indicate the genetic pathway involved. The Hebrew word anak may mean necklace or possibly goiter. This could suggest hyperthyroidism, possibly due to underlying pituitary gland or other endocrine dysfunction. If a familial aspect to Goliath's gigantism. Goliath, the Gittite, is the most well-known giant in the Bible. He is described as a champion out of the camp of the Philistines, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. From Samuel and Chronicles, we have drawn Goliath's pedigree. A literal interpretation of the verses suggests that his brother and 3 sons were also of giant stature. The name Goliath, excuse me, the name of Goliath's 3rd son does not appear in the Bible, so we have named him Exodactylus, as it was said that he had on every hand 6 fingers, on every foot 6 toes. Goliath's family tree is suggestive of a hereditary autosomal dominant pituitary gland such as AIP. Goliath was killed by David, who threw a stone at his forehead. This gives further evidence that he suffered from pituitary gland dysfunction, a pituitary tumor pressing on his optic chiasm, and consequent visual disturbance due to pressure on his optic nerve would have made it difficult for him to see the stone in his lateral vision. Pituitary giants look impressive in terms of stature, but may not have speed and agility to match their perceived strength. David, having agility, particularly having declined the heavy set of armor that was offered to him and being skilled at slingshots, may have found a way around the fearsome-looking giant by firing a slingshot from the side of the battlefield. The fact that Goliath may have had a pituitary tumor was recognized by Vladimir Bergener in a paper in 2000. In his description of the condition, he notes a painting of David and Goliath by Puget in the 18th century, noting the appearance of acromegaly in the severed head of Goliath, and remarks that the painting was done more than 100 years before Marie originally described the condition in 1886. He also helpfully comments that Goliath was killed by David, severing his head, not from the impact of the stone which felled him, possibly due to brain contusion, but did not actually kill him directly. Gigantism results when a growth hormone secreting pituitary adenoma is present before epiphyseal fusion. This is getting hard to read. Pituitary adenomas can be present in a number of genetic conditions such as multiple endocrine neoplasia type 1, Carney complex, and familial isolated pituitary adenoma. FIPA is an autosomal dominant condition with incomplete penetrance caused by germline mutations of the aryl hydrocarbon receptor interacting protein, the AIP. Patients with AIP mutations have an earlier mean age at diagnosis than AIP mutation negative patients. The age of Goliath is not cleared, but early onset of pituitary tumors is typical of hereditary gigantism, and limitation of lateral vision is common. Goliath himself had a shield bearer precede him, possibly to indicate to Goliath the direction of the approaching foe. Polydactyly has not been described in association with FIPA. The AIP gene lies on chromosome 11q13.3. I don't understand that. The Bardet beetle gene, BBS1, is located close by on chromosome 11q13. Bardet beetle syndrome type 1 is characterized by rod cone dystrophy, truncal obesity, cognitive impairment, and postaxial polydactyl 5. The protein encoded in BBS1 is thought to play a role in limb development. It is unlikely that Goliath's family had FIPA caused by a microdeletion, which also involved BBS1, as the genetic distance between the BBS1 and AIP genes is separate by a 1 megabit MB gene-packed region. Such a gap makes an inherited contiguous gene syndrome unlikely, as there would have been too many other features. Very rarely, BBS1 patients have symmetric exodactyly. Most commonly, it is present in one or two extremities, upper and lower, not in all four. We are not given much other detail about Exodactyly, so a new BBS1 mutation due to some complex rearrangement is unlikely. A new mutation in an autosomal dominant polydactyly gene might explain his symmetrical phenotype. If he had a pituitary disease in 6 digits, he may have looked an intimidating foe, but he may not have been a great warrior in action. Interestingly, the book of Samuel refers to 5 stones that David carefully selected for his sling from the nearby stream, and further reading of the surrounding passages shows that David's relatives were all involved in the deaths of the other giants in Goliath's family. There can be other interpretations for this in various types of symbolism, but it appears likely that several giants may have been from Goliath's family, further suggesting autosomal dominant inheritance. The reverse also almost happened. Ishbibenob, Goliath's son, is credited with almost killing David until the swift intervention of David's nephew, Abishai. So clearly, intellect or agility was not deficient in some of the giants, and myopathy, seen in some cases of pituitary disease in later life, not a direct issue in the younger giants. The giants from Goth were present after the flood. One possible answer to the often raised question of why the Nephilim giants present before the flood were not eradicated by it. Could be that new mutations of the AIP gene or other genes caused new families of giants to appear. There is no evidence in the Bible to suggest that the Nephilim, Raphaim, or Anakim were directly related, but they may have had some relations and intertwined lineage. If Goliath was the son of Raphaim, he is likely to be descended from the Raphaim, but being brought up in Gath, an ancient stronghold of the Anakim, could suggest he may also have had some Anakim relatives, making his champion status even more significant in the ancient world. Families of giants have been described in the medical literature, but this may be one of the oldest and most famous examples to be documented. Perusal of the archaeological literature of that period gives evidence of giants being excavated, but numerous fakes exist. Technology now exists to extract DNA from giant skeletons, and if any new excavations in the Middle East unearth a skeleton suggestive of Goliath or of Og or similar biblical giants, more proof may be obtained by careful DNA analysis, and it may be possible in the future to delineate the exact relations between different giant lineages in the Bible and dissect them further. In conclusion, Goliath may have had an AIP mutation causing early onset of autosomal dominant pituitary gigantism, and one of his sons may have had a syndrome involving both AIP and BBS1, which could some way account for the physical characteristics of his family and their good success rate on the battlefield until they met David. And in the acknowledgments, we thank the reviewers for their helpful comments, particularly the theological reviewer who carefully checked our statements on the biblical giants for accuracy and who provided very helpful comments, including original Hebrew text, which has helped us clarify the scriptural text for UMJ readers. And the authors have no conflict of interest. Wow. That's strange. It gives you something to think about, but it's not, I don't know how they'd even know, unless they did examine the bones, but that is interesting. Interesting to me anyway. This one is the one I was wanting to get to with y'all. This one has a picture. It's got a few pictures. It's going to seem a lot longer than what it is. It's got 5 pages, but this is the article. A massive human head in Chinese well forces scientists to rethink evolution. And I'm going to show you the picture that they show. That's the picture of the actual skull that they found in the Chinese well. It looks kind of rough, doesn't it? Look at the eyebrows on that thing. Sasquatch, maybe? Got the big eyeball sockets. All right, let's see. We are going to get on this one. This is the one that I started to read. And I got to use my nose spray. I have allergies. Year-round allergies. All right. This is massive human head in Chinese well forces scientists to rethink evolution. The discovery of a huge fossilized skull that was wrapped up and hidden in a Chinese well nearly 90 years ago has forced scientists to rewrite the story of human evolution. Analysis of the remains has revealed a new branch of the human family tree that points to a previously unknown sister group more closely related to modern humans than the Neanderthals. The extraordinary fossil has been named a new human species, Homo longi, or Dragon Man, by Chinese researchers, although other experts are more cautious about the designation. I think this is one of the most important finds of the past 50 years, said Professor Chris Stringer, research leader at the Natural History Museum in London, who worked on the project. It is a wonderfully preserved fossil. The skull appears to have a remarkable backstory. According to the researchers, it was originally found in 1933 by Chinese laborers building a bridge over the Sanghua River in Harbin, in China's northernmost province, Heilongjiang, during the Japanese occupation. To keep the skull from falling into Japanese hands, it was wrapped and hidden in an abandoned well, resurfacing only in 2018 after the man who hid it told his grandson about it shortly before he died. All right, this I'm going to show you guys. This is a drawing of what they believe the Dragon Man would have looked like. If y'all can see that, that is the artist's rendition of the Dragon Man. I don't know what he's got in his hand. Looks like a little tree, but I don't know. That's a pretty heavy built fella right there. An international team led by Professor Guang Ji at the Hebei Geo University in China drew on geometrical techniques to narrow down when the skull came to rest in Harbin, dating the bones to at least 146,000 years old. The skull has a unique combination of primitive and more modern features, with the face in particular more closely resembling Homo sapiens. One huge molar remains. The skull, which is 23 centimeters long and more than 15 centimeters wide, is substantially larger than a modern human's and has ample room at 1,420 milliliters for a modern human brain. Beneath the thick brow ridge, the face has large square eye sockets, but is delicate despite its size. This guy had a huge head, said Stringer. The researchers believe the skull belonged to a male about 50 years old who would have been an impressive physical specimen. His wide bulbous nose allowed him to breathe huge volumes of air, indicating a high-energy lifestyle, while sheer size would have helped him withstand the brutally cold winters in the region. Homo longi is heavily built, very robust, said Professor Zhejian Ni, a paleoanthropologist at Hebei. It is hard to estimate the height, but the massive head should match a height higher than the average of modern humans. To work out where the Harbin individual fitted into human history, the scientists fed measurements from the fossil and 95 other skulls into software that compiled the most likely family tree. To their surprise, the Harbin skull and a handful of others from China formed a new branch closer to modern humans than Neanderthals. The Chinese researchers believe the Harbin skull is distinct enough to make it a new species, but Stringer is not convinced. He believes it is similar to another found in Dali County in China in 1978. I prefer to call it Homo daliensis. It's not a big deal, he said. The important thing is the third lineage of later humans that are separate from Neanderthals and separate from Homo sapiens. Details are published in 3 papers in The Innovation. Whatever the name, one possibility is that the Harbin skull is Denisovan, a mysterious group of extinct humans known largely from DNA and bone fragments recovered from Siberia. Certainly this specimen could be Denisovan, but we have to be cautious. What we need is much more complete skeletal material of the Denisovans alongside DNA, Stringer said. Okay, I think we're missing a sentence on here. It's a bad moment in science to be naming new species among these large-brained humans that all interbred with each other. What we are repeatedly finding is that the differences in looks didn't mean much to these ancient people when it comes to breeding. Mark Maslin, a professor of Earth System Science at UCL and the author of The Cradle of Humanity, said the beautifully preserved Chinese Harbin archaic human skull adds even more evidence that human evolution was not a simple evolutionary tree, but a dense intertwined bush. We now know that there were as many as 10 different species of hominins at the same time as our own species emerged. Genetic analysis shows that these species interacted and interbred. Our own genetics contain the legacy of many of these ghost species. But what is a sobering thought is that despite all of this diversity, a new version of Homo sapiens emerged from Africa about 60,000 years ago, which is clearly outcompeted, outbred, and even outfought these other closely related species, causing their extinction. It is only by painstaking searching and analysis of their fossils, such as the Harbin skull, do we know of their existence. And this is, I'll show you a picture of, this is the skull again. If I can get it straight, there's the 2 skulls. Same skull, just a side view and a front view. It does kind of have square eye sockets. Strange. It's kind of crazy to have eye sockets that large. Okay. Set this up. We'll jump over to some. Okay, we got. Let me see which one this one is. I wonder if is Francesca here yet? I don't think she's made it. Okay, this I'm gonna save this last one of hers, and we're gonna hop over and do some more of these other articles. Let me put a separator in them so I don't get these mixed up and confused. That way we can come back and we'll get that. There's another article from her, and I got some more that she had sent me. We just haven't got those printed up yet. Now we're going to jump back into, where are we going? I think we're going into, I believe, Indiana. Yes, we are going into Indiana now. Oh, my nose. All right. All right. This is a sighting. Fish Lake, Indiana. Wild child sighting in 1839. The location was Fish Lake, Indiana, LaPorte County. The newspaper source for this article was the Niles Register of Baltimore, Maryland, on December 21st of 1839. It is stated in the Michigan City, Indiana Gazette of the 4th instant as a current generally believed report that a wild child or lad is now running among the sand hills round and in the vicinity of Fish Lake. It is reported to be about 4 feet in height and covered with a light coat of chestnut-colored hair. It runs with a great velocity, and when pursued, as has often been the case, it sets up the most frightful and hideous yells and seems to make efforts at speaking. It has been seen during the summer months running along the lake shore, apparently in search of fish and frogs, and appears to be fond of the critters, for it will plunge into Fish Lake and swim with great velocity all the time, whining most piteously. It almost sounds like they may have captured that thing, or almost captured it. That's a very old report. It's kind of hard to read the way that these reports were written. It's so long ago. Our language has changed drastically in the last 150 years. And my language isn't good anyway, but it's all good. All right, this report is dated 1870, and this is from Newton County, Indiana, titled Indiana Wild Man Sighting. The source of this news article was the Daily Gazette of Fort Wayne, Indiana, on November 15th of 1870. Newton County in this state boasts a wild man 7 feet high. He was probably invented to scare children with. Why did they not make him 10 or 12 feet in height and have a good thing of it? And that's the report. I mean, these real old ones, unless they're an actual encounter, a sighting that people have reported, they're really brief. It's almost like the media of that time would make a mockery of the people. I mean, that's the way it seems to me whenever I read those. And these are actual news articles. Some of them, it would seem like a child has written them. But it's not. These are from legitimate newspapers, news sources. And I find that really fascinating. All right, this one's a little bit longer. Oh, get off there. All right, this is in Lafayette, Indiana. It's a wild woman encounter of 1883. The location is Lafayette, Indiana, the Tippecanoe County, Wabash Valley area. The newspaper source for this article is the Daily Gazette of Fort Wayne, Indiana, on July 10th of 1883. The wild woman, the fearful beast or human being that is terrorizing the Wabash Valley and moving up this way. Okay, sorry, the pages stuck together. A wild woman, or perhaps the mate of the gorilla, which our special correspondent A.W. Hoffman, Esquire, recently captured, has appeared near Lafayette and is terrorizing the people. Miss Frank Kaufman, the wife of a well-known farmer, saw it the other day and thus describes it in the Courier. Miss Kaufman was passing through the timber when she suddenly saw to her right a hideous creature, formed like a woman with long black hair floating in the wind, and the whole body covered with short gray hair. The creature was breaking twigs from a sassafras bush and eating the bark. The noise made in breaking the bush prevented its hearing Miss Kaufman's approach. Frozen with horror, the farmer's wife stood and gazed on the remarkable creature before her. Suddenly the wild woman turned and, facing her civilized sister, glared at her with a baleful light of hate. Raising her long hairy arms, she gave an unearthly shriek and darted away into the forest. Almost paralyzed with fear, Miss Kaufman gazed after the wild creature for a moment. Then, with agonized screams, she fled homeward. Her cries of fear attracted her husband, who was at work in the field, and he hastened toward her, reaching her side as her knees gave way with the weakness resulting from mortal terror. He carried his wife to the house, gave the alarm, and soon 100 men and boys, accompanied by dogs, were on the trail of the wild woman. She was hotly pursued and several times came near being caught, but eluded her pursuers with wonderful skill and cunning. For fully half a mile of the chase, she was never out of sight. Her feet touched the ground seldom. She would grab the underbrush with her long bony hands and swing from bush to bush and limb to limb with wonderful ease. She seemed only endeavoring to keep just beyond the reach of her pursuers, until coming to a swamp, she disappeared as suddenly and effectually as an extinguished light, and no searching served to ascertain her whereabouts. We have telegraphed Mr. Hoffman at Rowan to go to the field, but as he may have some scruples about tackling women, we do not know whether he has left for the scene of action. Wow. Had long flowing black hair, but her body was covered with gray hair. That's a new description. I haven't heard one like that. I'm trying to get to the second page. I'm sorry. There we go. That was actually a very interesting article. Those are the ones that I like, personally. I really enjoy those. Let's see. We'll do a few more, and then we'll see if anybody has any prayer requests, any questions, or anything at all that we can help with. Let's see, this one is, I think, let me check. I don't know if this is 2 or 3 pages. All right, this is 2 pages, and we got a couple of short ones. And all of these are in Indiana that I'm doing right now. This is in Vernon, Indiana. The cave wild man encounter of 1891. The location is Vernon, Indiana, in Jennings County. The newspaper source this article came from was the Arizona Republican of Phoenix, Arizona, May 3rd, 1891. Let me get back to my page. All right, titled A Weird Cavern. It was accidentally discovered and found to be occupied by a wild man or a gorilla. Which one is it? The discovery creates excitement. In Vernon, Indiana, April 30th. This is one of the oldest towns in Indiana and is surrounded by rock-ribbed hills whose ruggedness render them quite romantic. Years ago, a subterranean cavern was reported to have been discovered by a man residing near here named Barnes, in which he claimed to have explored a short distance and discovered a large, tall form somewhat resembling a human form, but appearing to be naked and covered with a tuft or growth of hair. Barnes was so frightened that he fled from the presence of the being, whatever it was, and was so ridiculed when he told his story that he carried with him to the grave a few years later the secret of the location of the cave. The story has not been revised by a startling discovery made yesterday by Alex Shepard, a real estate dealer who was showing a farm to a prospective purchaser. Going up a deep ravine whose bed is discovered with stone for a long distance, they accidentally discovered a small entrance or hole behind a large stone that apparently led into the ground underneath a large hill. Procuring a lantern, they entered the opening with some difficulty and soon found themselves inside a large and lofty cavern. The rooms glittering with stalagmite and stalactites like other caverns of its character abounding in southern Indiana. After wending their weary way through numerous apartments, each more elaborate and beautiful than the one first gone through with, they stopped to gaze on the magnificent spectacle that greeted them on every hand. But suddenly their awe-inspired admiration turned to horror, and their hair stood on end as they discovered only a few feet from them the huge form of what seemed to them to be a gorilla or some human-shaped being resembling a wild man, naked and covered with apparently a coat of grizzly brown hair. After gazing on the intruders for a moment, it gave a low guttural sound that went ambling off into the deep, impenetrable darkness of the cavern. It appeared to be over 6 feet in height. After this strange being disappeared, the explorers turned to the right and discovered what appeared to be a storeroom, which was found to contain piles of potatoes, corn, and wheat, and bones of fowls. And in another room adjoining this one were found numerous bones dry with age. For a long time, almost nightly, strange noises have been heard in the locality of the deep woods surrounding the subterranean cavern, and all attempts to fathom the mystery proved a failure. No one could ever see the source of the noise, and dogs refused to follow its trail. Farmers in the locality were losing their products almost nightly, and no one knew where they went. It seemed that in making its nightly incursions, it always followed the stony pathway of the stream leading to the cavern, and this accounted for the failure to trace him to his hiding place. Years ago, there was a wild man or a similar object to this being who inhabited Trimble County, Kentucky, and later Jefferson County, this state. Adjoining this county, Jennings, and for some years now, no trace of him has been known. This being is believed to be the same one. The discovery has created a great neighborhood excitement, and a large party has been organized to explore the labyrinth of this mysterious cavern and fathom the mystery of its occupant. Wow. We just recently, Connor, Kim, and myself went into the Mariana Caverns, and it's full of stalactites and stalagmites. And just reading that, I could picture coming across a cavern like that with all them beautiful stone mineral spikes sticking out of the floor and from the roof, and then coming across one of these big hairy giants in the dark. That would be horrible. I would not like that. All right, this is a short clip from Sailor, Indiana. The Wild Man Encounter, 1895 or 1897 is the year. The location was Sailor, Indiana. And the information sources for this is the Mangiacopra and Smith. 1895 or 1897. In 2002, Mangiacopra and Smith noted that farmers from Sailor, Indiana, chased and shot at a hairy wild man. And yes, that's the end of that one. It's short, but guys, these are news articles, and many of them are short like that. And that's where I was getting at. I think a lot of these media sources back then would take some of these old farmers and trappers who they thought were just, just mountain men of the hill. And these people would push the newspapers to, print their story. And just to get it in the paper and be done with it, they'll put something real simple like that. That's my beliefs. I don't have any documentation to back that up, but it seems to me that's what they're doing on these short ones, just so that people will quit nagging them, and they'll put something really short in the paper just to get it in there. And we got a few more. This one's also a short clip. This is Gilman, Indiana, baboon sighting of 1896 in Gilman, Indiana, Madison County. The newspaper source is the Daily Advocate of Newark, Ohio, on January 1st, 1896, titled Maybe the Missing Link. In Gilman, Indiana, January 1st, the populace here are greatly excited over the appearance of some strange wild beast in the woods near here. It resembles a baboon. It's just odd to think about how they wrote these news articles, well over 100 years ago. Very short and to the point. They don't beat around the bush with all the getting it politically right. Just say it the way it is and move on. The Boonville, Indiana hairy ape encounters of 1937. In Boonville, Indiana, Warwick County. The newspaper source is the Times of Hammond, Indiana, on August 16th of 1937. Sounds like a bear yarn. Boonville, Indiana, August 15th. They're looking for a hairy ape near here today after a monster has terrorized this community. Persons living near Cypress Beach, a few miles south of here, have told tales of encountering a giant beast which specializes in blood-curdling screams in the middle of the night and leaves footprints larger than a human's. Ralph Duff, a fisherman, first reported the animal about a year ago after his police dog was torn to shreds in an encounter with the beast. This weekend, Miss Duff said she heard a terrifying howl late in the night and saw a towering monster larger than a bear. When she screamed, the beast ran away. Duff believes that the animal is a huge ape, which lives in one of the caves along the river and has set a number of bear traps. I don't think that'd be a good idea to put a trap out and catch one of these things barefooted. It could backfire on you real quick. All right. I think we got, let me see, one. I think it's just two. Yeah, we got two more short ones I'm going to put out, and then we'll start wrapping it up. This is Boonville, Indiana. Ape mistaken for sloth. The encounter is 1937. The location was Boonville, Indiana, in Warwick County, and the newspaper source is the Times of Hammond, Indiana, August 18th of 1937. Sloth scares the Boonville natives. Boonville, Indiana, on August 18th, a stranger who declined to identify himself strolled into the newspaper office today and declared that the weird, mysterious beast whose screams and prowlings have terrified residents of the Ohio River Valley is simply a giant sloth. The man said he and his uncle were returning from Mexico 2 years ago with the sloth, which they captured on a game hunting expedition. He said they lost it near Evansville and never found a trace of it since. He was uncertain if it was two-toed or three-toed, but averred that sloths came in both varieties. When a sloth is hungry and frightened, he said, it will give vent to to blood-curdling shrieks and yells, such as terrified River Valley residents have reported they have heard intermittently since Friday night. At that time, Mr. Ralph Duff reported she caught a fleeting glimpse of the animal and said it looked like an ape. Posses, according to reports here, are searching the river bottoms cautiously in the hope of tracking the beast to its lair. River folk said today that they had seen an empty circus truck in the vicinity and assumed that animal experts are endeavoring to capture the alleged monster also. A giant sloth. I don't know about that. I thought them things moved like incredibly slow. I don't know how one would escape from you, but I don't know. They may be fast. I guess it'd be like chasing a koala bear or something. I don't know. I've never seen a sloth. Tenaz. Oh, Viteresma. It's good to see you. Good deal. Welcome. Thank you for jumping over and hanging out with us. All right, this is the last one. This is just a short little writing. I think it's a sentence long. And this is Boone County, Indiana, gorilla chase of 1949 in Boone County, Indiana. But the information source of this statement is an eyewitness report. 1949 of 1949. In 2001, Lauren Coleman noted a Boone County, Indiana report of two fishermen chased by a brown gorilla in Boone County, Indiana. A brown gorilla. And that was, you would think that it would be longer since this one was printed in 1949. You would think that they would be just, much longer. Newspapers come a long way from the 1800s to the mid 1950s. Let me get this one in here. I'll just put it in the front. I'll straighten that up later. Guys, I'm glad everyone came over and hung out with us. Thank you so much for being here. Do y'all have anything that you need to get out or you want me to share for you? Viteresma says, anyone hear about our friends from New Orleans, how they're doing? I have not. Seven Pearls, she's here with us tonight. She's in Mississippi, and I think they got hit pretty hard, but her son was actually right there almost in the direct path of the storm, of the eye. And I haven't gotten to speak with her. But if Seven Pearls wants to put something up on that, I will absolutely throw it up on the screen. Let's see, where are we at? Yeah, I do not know. I have not heard. Since our last show, this is the first time that I've been on YouTube. Kim's been out of town all week. Oh, good deal. I'm going to throw it up. Seven Pearls says, we are fine and all are well. Praise God. Yes, absolutely. Praise God. Yep, I don't see Pappy here tonight, but he's a busy man. Busy man. And I had something else I was wanting to share with you, and I cannot remember what it was. But anyhow, Kim got back home last night, and so I'm finally able to jump on here tonight. It's been really busy having Rosie here by myself, and Rosie was exposed to some children that had the cootie bug in school, and so I had to take her out, and She did not go Friday. They let me know Thursday afternoon that she was exposed the previous Friday. So it's been a little rough. Yes, you guys, Carolyn Hornsby, her grandson, the last I heard, he still has not shown up. They haven't heard from him. And while I'm thinking about that's Eli, Carolyn's grandson Eli, our brother Buddy, his son Eli that we done a prayer request for. He's disabled. He passed away just a few days ago. They put him on the hospice, and it wasn't long, and the Lord came for him. And they're working on getting the funeral arrangements done. The family does not have the money to cover the funeral, and he had asked if I could do something to help him get the word out. Maybe they can get some people to contribute to help them cover the cost. The funeral home quoted them they're going to need about $10,000 to bury him. And I asked him to get me the information together, whether it be a PayPal account, whatever they're using to do that, and I would share it, and I haven't gotten it from him. And Buddy is extremely busy. He works 7 days a week, and this is hitting pretty hard. So I'm waiting to hear from him on what's going on with that. But Buddy's son Eli went home to be with the Lord, and Caroline's grandson Eli, they have not heard from him yet. They don't know what's going on with him. We're just keep him in your prayers. Keep that family in your prayers. And our sister Audrey, who just had heart surgery, and she's going in to have carpal tunnel surgery Friday. Keep her in your prayers as well. There's so many that are here. Stevie B, who was here with us earlier, she may not be here with us right now. She's going through an abrupt change in her life. She had to have both her legs amputated just below the knee. So please keep her in your prayers. She's part of our family here. And we love all of our brothers and sisters who are part of us, and those that are not joined with us here yet. We love everyone. No, Franklin, I do not have any updates on the wild pigs. I do have some really big ones I caught on camera. There's 5 that are coming in to the feeder, and they are all female, and I'm positive 3 of them are pregnant, and I'm not sure about the 5th one is not. The 4th one I'm not so sure about, but 3 of them definitely are pregnant. So that makes things a little more difficult in harvesting the pigs. I am very selective in what I harvest, and I don't want to harvest anything that has babies or is pregnant, and I don't care how destructive they are. They deserve the opportunity to live just like the rest of us. And when you kill a pregnant mama or a nursing mama, all of her young die as well. They can't live without her. So I know there's been a few people that question me about not killing the 2 boars that we caught in the trap. Instead, we wormed them and give them some vitamin mineral block, and we fed them and released them. But there wasn't a sense of killing them. You have about 20 minutes to clean a wild pig if you shoot them when it's hot out. The meat spoils incredibly fast, and there's no way I could have harvested those 2 pigs and got them drug out to where the vehicle is and get them cleaned and in a cooler on ice before they'd spoil. And it was just too hot to deal with them. But we are going to be hunting them. Hunting season opens here for us on October 24th, I believe, or October 23rd, and it will be archery. And I will have we're going to be filming some of the hunts, and I'll be sharing that with you as long as there's not a lot of carnage involved. If I make a shot on an animal and there's blood everywhere. If he's in real bad shape, then I'm not going to show that. But as long as we can avoid showing any of that, then yes, I will absolutely be sharing those videos. Edna Richardson, good to see you. Oh, wow. I'm going to throw that up. Where'd it go? I'm sorry, Nancy. I was trying to find Edna, and the chat moved so fast I missed it. Sorry, Nancy. Edna says she's new to our channel. Welcome to our family here. We are one big family. Absolutely. She has a storybook of some extra living under in a house with a homemade cave under a home. Wow. I would love to hear about that. Are you sharing that? Do you have a channel that you're sharing that on YouTube? Or if that's something you would like to share with us here, I'll be more than happy to let you come on and share it yourself in a live show. Or if you want to send it to me, I can share it for you. Whatever works best for you. We're all about just sharing and getting stuff out. And it doesn't matter if it's something that some people disagree with it. It's not about that. It's about getting it out and letting people make their own decision on whether or not they feel something is truthful or not. I enjoy sharing it. I enjoy hearing all the different things out there. I have a really good time, and a lot of it is informational. Oh, there's Eric, Gypsy Road. It's good to see you, brother. I thought I seen your name go by. It's hard for me to read one comment and then pay attention to the others passing. I can't keep up with it like that. Who else we got there? Yeah, Edna, I would greatly appreciate if you want to send it to me. If you'd like for me to share it, I would love to. And I got my email at the bottom of the screen right now, the Standing Goats Rescue at yahoo.com. I'm a little behind on. I'm not caught up with the emails. We've had a crazy week, and I have not had time to respond to all of them. I'm not real behind on them. It'll take me a day or two to get caught up. I just got to have a day or two to actually dedicate to doing it. Hey, Nana. I did not see you earlier. Nana Anna. I don't know how I missed her. I probably missed a few people, and I apologize if I've missed you guys. Certainly didn't do it intentionally. I want to make sure I haven't missed no one else. Daniel says it'd be nice if you could castrate them. Yes, on the pigs. We used to do it when I was younger and in better health, but I don't handle them when we catch them. I don't handle them like I used to. I've been cut too many times, and the last one was 4 or 5 years ago. I got cut in the leg pretty bad, and Kim had to take care of the wound. We had to clean it out several times a day for 2 weeks, I think. It went from the back of my calf all the way through to my knee. And the only thing kept the tusk from coming out my knee was my skin. That's the only thing that held it in. He almost went all the way through. And that was not very fun. Yeah, Edna, that would be fun. If you want to snap pictures of the pages and just zoom them in when you take a picture of them, make sure that I can read them. And yes, absolutely. I would love to share that. Brother Butch, there he is. I'm glad you made it. Absolutely. I thought I seen you earlier, and I scrolled up when I thought I seen your name go by, and I went all the way to the beginning, and I did not see you. It's a good deal. I'm glad you did make it. Lake Anna. I was just reading one of the chats. I'm sorry, folks. Have a good night, Randy. Thank you so much for stopping by. God bless you, my brother. Have a good evening, and we'll absolutely see you again soon. Absolutely. We'll be sharing some more of these articles with you in a day or two. And these that we shared tonight, the stuff on the giants and the large skull that was found in China, that stuff was sent to us by Francesca. She's part of our family here on the channel, and I have not seen her in the chat tonight. But she had sent those in, and I've got another one, and we'll on the next show I'll read the other one that she sent. And the Bigfoot articles and the Dogman stuff we've been reading tonight, we just did the Bigfoot stuff and the Wildman stuff. That was sent by our brother Don, who's also in the chat. Don's here tonight, Don Moore, and he's got a bunch of it that he's sending in. So we'll have these shows will be stretched out for some time now, and we'll keep putting them out. I enjoy reading them, and I enjoy just reading different stuff that I haven't come across before. It all fascinates me. Oh, Lake Ann is just northwest of Richmond. Well, I've never heard of Lake Anna. I don't get out very much. It's hard to get far from the house because of the animals. We have an active farm, and so we got to be here all the time. It's very hard for the two of us have never taken a vacation. We cannot leave together. Fredericksburg. I've not heard of Fredericksburg either. And Louisa. I need to get up to some of these places. I definitely want to go to Virginia. West Virginia is where I wanted to go up there and just do some short hikes, go a couple of miles out into the mountains, into the hills up there. But I don't think my body could handle those steep inclines and declines. I mean, them guys that are running the mountains are tough. Those are some tough characters. And I don't know how they do it. Thank you, Eric. Thank you so much. I'm just reading what's being shared with me, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And we read some of the stories on Eric's channel, Gypsy Road. He invited me over there a while back, and we shared some of the stories over with him and his family there, and we had a really good time. It was really nice. Eric's been really good to me, and I have a wonderful time. I have not watched any YouTube this week at all, and I missed everything. I just haven't had time. But I'm definitely, Kim's back, so things are a little easier on me, and I'm going to try to get caught up, and maybe Eric will invite me to come back on again. If I end up going back on with Eric on Gypsy Road, what I'll do is I will post something here for you all if y'all want to jump over and check it out and check out his show and what he's doing over there. But it's a good time. I really enjoyed it going over there with him. They were really good to me, and it was just a great time. Connor actually introduced me to Gypsy Road, and it was a lot of fun. I was kind of late getting there, and I think he kept the show over late because of me. I got near the end of the show, and he extended it for me. I was so grateful for that. He's an awesome man, awesome friend, and wonderful brother. Oh, yeah, Harold, I know where Richmond is. I was supposed to go to Richmond when my mother was alive many years ago. We were going to go over there we was in Kentucky, and she wanted to go over there to some restaurant that she loved in Richmond, and something had happened. I don't remember what it was now. I was 20 or 21 years old at the time, and we did not get to go. I got to go to Kentucky, and we spent several hours just roaming the back roads of Kentucky, and I fell in love. I did not want to come back home. I wanted to be up in the beautiful hills, but I had to come back to the the flat land of Florida, but it's all good. It's hard to leave this place once you come here. I would absolutely love to move up there. I'm West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, anywhere. I just want to get up in the hills. Hey, Anthony. Bigfoot? Yep, absolutely. We were sharing articles earlier on Bigfoot. Hey, Bobby. No problem. No problem. It's Sunday night. It's usually pretty busy, and for those of you here, I hope y'all had a happy Labor Day. I really do. I hope it's been a good one for you. Yep, I do. One of these days, Harold, I am absolutely going to make it to Virginia, without a doubt. I will absolutely be there. I wish it was tomorrow. I would love to go right now. I wish it were that easy, but I've got to get a school bus so I can haul the goats. School bus and a trailer and a couple of big SUVs, and we'll get all of them. Take everybody up there. Eat us a bald spot on the side of the mountain. Make it a little easier to navigate the hills when the goats clear the path for us. Well, Daniel says he saw... I'm going to put that up before it goes out of sight. Daniel says he's... The older guy who lived next to me says he saw one in a dumpster just inside the city limits of Perry. Perry, Florida it's wooded. The Apalachicola National Forest is down there. And I've talked to several people who have seen the big guys, the Sasquatch, crossing the road. When you leave Perry, you're headed south, like you're going toward Manatee Springs, down that direction. You've got a long drive of nothing but forest on both sides of the road. There's no street lights. It's a very dark area. And I've talked to several people that have seen them, crossing the road. They'll travel down the road at night and they'll see a bipedal figure run the road right in front of them. They have to hit the brakes to avoid hitting them. And that's interesting. Brother Brad, you made it. It's good to see you. No worries. No worries. There's a lot of shows other people do on the weekends, and it's no problem at all. That's the good thing about YouTube. If you miss a show, you can always go back and rewatch it. And if you get tired or you got to go do something, you can hit that pause button and come back and finish watching it later. That part I love. The live shows, it messes me up when I come in at the end of something, then have to go back and watch the first half. It bothers me. Same thing with a movie. If I start watching a movie from the 3/4 point, I will not go back and watch the first half of it. I don't know. I can't watch reruns. I watch a movie one time and I'm done with it. So I do not rent or buy movies. Kim buys them and watches them over and over, but it's not feasible for me to spend $12 or $15 on a DVD to watch a movie. I can rent one from $1 from that Redbox thing and watch it, and then I'm done with it, and much cheaper on me. But it's all good. Do y'all have anything? Any of you have anything you'd like for me to share right now? Do you, anybody in a situation that you need to get prayer requests out? And is there anybody that is needing any help with anything that any of us here can help you with? If you have anything, if you'll put it in capital letters, all caps, where I can read it. I'm sure I've missed a bunch of you guys, and I do apologize if you posted something for me and I missed it. Please forgive me. I have a very hard time keeping up with it. It's easier if I see the capital letters. I have a hard time keeping up with the chat when it moves, and the way, I think it's the computer. I've got a really old computer that I'm using. It doesn't skip one, it doesn't go up one comment at a time or one chat message at a time. it skips like 10 or 15 at a time, and I have to scroll back up and try to figure out where I was, and then I get really far behind. But it's all good. Yes, Addie, absolutely, and I'll put that up. And this is Addie says, pray for my mom in Summer Wells. Yes, absolutely. So you all that are here, our family, please, Addie's mother and Summer Wells, please add them to your prayers. The Lord knows what they're going through. Whatever is happening with them, God knows. He already knows it. And he just wants to hear from us and reach out and let's pray for Addie's mother and Summer Wells to get the prayers out for him. Provide that window where the Lord can come in and do what he does best and heal these people and make life better for them. Brother Brad, yes, absolutely. And these, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. The chat moved up when I went to click on Brad's. Brad's asking us to pray for Australia. If you're watching the news, what's happening over there with the cooties and some of these countries, what the government is doing, the crackdown they're doing is crazy. It's really hardcore, and these people are suffering from it. The fires, Australia, just about the whole place just about burn up. And if they're not getting bad storms, they're caught on fire, and it just doesn't end for them people, and it's so sad. I wish we had the power to go over there and physically help them. Yes, absolutely, Brad. We will definitely be praying for you and all of your fellow countrymen, everyone in Australia, everyone, whatever country the rest of y'all are in. I know most of y'all are here, but those in all these other countries that are going through so much and all this stuff happening in, where is it, Afghanistan? All the people that got left with them terrorist groups or whatever them bad people are. I don't understand all of that with the bailing out of that Afghanistan region and leaving everybody behind, and now they're in fear of losing their life. They got to stay hidden, and these people are hunting them down like animals, and it's horrible. Oh, okay. I just seen. I'm gonna put this up. Thank you, Harold. What Harold will put up here about Summer Wells. Thank you for clarifying that. I did not know. Summer Wells is the 5-year-old girl who has been missing since June 15th in East Hawkins County, Tennessee. I did not know that. Thank you so much for letting me know, Harold. Yes, absolutely. We definitely need to pray for that little girl. Huh? Do what, baby? Oh, I'm on.
I'm black.
Oh. I don't know. I think I'm on. Should be on. Yeah, I'm still on. It's probably your phone, baby.
It probably is. The goat tried to eat it today.
Yep. Sister Nana Anna. Oh, I keep jumping around. Yep, prayers for everyone in need. The Lord knows everyone who needs prayers. And we need to pray for all of our brothers and sisters here outside of YouTube. You know, the people that we've never met, we don't know. They don't know us. They don't know of us. Yeah, absolutely. We need to pray for everyone. Our planet is in a hard time right now. It is in the control and the hands of the enemy, the evil one. but it's only temporary. But it's going to be hard until our Savior gets here and straightens things out. It's going to be so hard. Oh, geez. Yeah, I see what you put up there, Harold. I hope that ain't what happened. Lord, I hope that ain't what it is. Um, but they, tyrannical, yes, absolutely, Brad. The tyrannical governments, and there's so many of them. It's crazy. The whole world, every country, every government of every country is. It seems as though they're turning on their people, and I don't know if that's just me seeing it that way or if it's really happening, but it really seems that all the governments of the world are turning against their people. If you're not part of the elite, you're in a bad way. We're the ones that are the target for whatever they're doing, and I don't know if they're using us as guinea pigs. Or, I have no idea, but we live in a time that things do not feel right at all. Things, they just seem bad, they feel bad. Everything you see on the news is they're pushing that racist thing and just trying to get every human watching the news and relying on the news to turn against their neighbor, their fellow human, our brothers and sisters. And when you start seeing color over character, you got issues, you got problems. And you need to stop and do a self-assessment. You have a hatred for your neighbor because the skin's a different color than you. Maybe it's not him that's messed up. But the Bible told us these things would be coming. They would absolutely be coming. These days, these bad days. I'm trying to turn these glasses so they don't glare. If I look up, they do that number and they got this glare from the light or the screen, something on them. Now they won't stay on my head. See now, she has made it. It's good to see you. Very good to see you. But has anybody put up a prayer request or any requests that I have overlooked? If you did, please put it back up and I will make sure to get it out. And then Garden is now known as Little Beirut. That is a shame. This whole world has just gone bonkers. Oh. I'm going to put this up. Edna, I'm so sorry. Edna says, I just lost my daughter to COVID pneumonia on July 30th. She had asthma and cerebral palsy. She was my angel and now definitely my angel for sure. She was only 47 years old and I miss her so much. God bless you. God bless you, Edna. I did not know. My heart goes out to you. We love you here. And we love your daughter, whether she's here with us right now or if we got to wait a little while to see her. We love her. She's part of us. We've got one thing in common here, all of us have. We have the same father. We are of the same bloodline. I don't care who your human father is. We all have the same father. There's only one that created us. And we are of his genetics. And we're all going to be in the same place at the end. Whether or not we stay there depends on our actions and our words and how we live our life. We don't know what awaits us. but I'm pretty sure it's a lot better than what we're experiencing now globally. This is so hard. I'm so sorry. I lost my son a few years ago due to a motorbike accident. He was drinking and he may have survived. He had his helmet on, but it was not strapped. He didn't like wearing the strap, and he hit a car and his helmet flew off, and he hit so hard his brain was split down the center. It sheared it in half, and he stayed alive for 30 days, and that's what kind of got me in July 21st. He had the accident, and we lost him August 21st, and that was just a really hard time. The next day was Kim and my anniversary, and it was really hard for me to get into the anniversary thing. It was rough. I know what it's like to lose a child, and it doesn't matter the age. They're your children. If you live to be 150 and your children are 130, they are your children. They will always be your children. And we'll see them again. I have no doubt we will absolutely see our mothers and fathers and grandparents, and we're going to see them all. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a grand party, grand feast. It's going to be wonderful, but we got to survive this garbage that we're dealing with here. The world has turned just horrible. Blues and G music. God bless you. So good to see you. I did not see you in the chat earlier. I probably overlooked you and I didn't mean to. Hey, Sharon. Getting good service and still no power, but we are all okay. Oh, praise God. Praise God. I'm so glad. We haven't heard from anybody over there. I'm so glad that y'all are all right. Hopefully they'll get your power up soon. We were out for, I think, a week from Hurricane Michael, but just south of us, not even a mile south of us, they were out of power for almost 3 weeks. It was tight. It was a hard time, but we got through. We learned how to open windows and do other things to kind of cool it down. It helped some. It made it bearable, but barely. It was barely. It was a hard time. I'm trying to just back up, make sure I have not missed anyone. And before we close out, I want to get a prayer out. Oh, hey, Meredith. Did overlook Meredith. I did not see you here. Oh, and Rock Ape, Overlanding and Adventures. I did not see you either. I'm so sorry. Rock Ape has a question. I'm going to put it up. I did not see it, and I apologize for that. I don't know how I overlooked it. I seen Denise's comment, and I seen Addie's, but I did not see you, and you're right between them. Rock Ape says, I have a cryptid question. Does anyone here have any experience with dogs and cryptids interaction? Our dog, when we would have that thing come on the north side of the fence, the dogs would raise Cain inside the house, and you can't hear when that thing would come up. Most of the time, we wouldn't know it was there. But the dogs, we had 7 dogs. We lost one recently, but we had 7, and all of them would cut up. They would bark and just carry on, and somehow they knew that they were there. But our dogs never got up to where, I don't think they ever even seen them. If they come near the house when the dogs were outside, the dogs are in the front. They cannot get to the north side of the property, and that's the side these things were coming up on. So I don't know if they actually ever seen the which we just have the Sasquatch. I think that's the only thing we have over there. I don't think we have none of the other crazy stuff, but the dogs don't like them when they come around. The dogs cut up, and when we were having the knocking on the side of the house, the dogs in our room, the knocking sounded like it was coming from our bedroom wall on the outside on the brick. But the dogs would, the three in the bed with us, would just kind of rumble like a rumbly low growl. They didn't bark, but they would just kind of growl like they were unsure of something. But that's the only interaction that we've had with the dogs. It hasn't been a whole lot. Probably 7 or 8 times total through the years. But there's probably been several people here that have had a lot of experience with their animals, with these Sasquatch and all these other creatures. We've had several people here that have encountered the dogman creatures. We got a bunch of people in our part of our family here that has encountered a lot of them, a lot of the dogman things. I don't want to, those, all of them scare me, but those really scare me. I don't want to be around them things. Hey, Laura. Oh, good deal. So good to see you. Oh, thank you so much. What a nice thing to say. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just part of this great adventure with everyone else. Hey, Mike. Mike Stone, it's all right. It's all right, brother. You ain't late. We're just really early. That's all. It's all good. Oh, I'm going to put this up, Rock Ape, because I don't know what to say to you. I'd hate to say, me personally, if y'all are going to an area that's had 7 sightings in 30 days, I would want to bring my dogs, a couple of them with me. I wouldn't bring them all, but there's 2 that I would bring. But I would have to keep them on a leash because I do not want to take a chance of them running up on one of these things and being snatched up. It would kill me if something happened to my dogs. If any of the animals, if one of these things grabbed a hold of my dog, though, I'd burn the forest down. It would make me that angry and that upset. I'd burn it all down. And then I'd be in trouble, and then I'd have a criminal record for burning down the woods, and it would screw me up permanently for sure. But I would, if I were going in an area with other people, I would bring a dog with me, put him on a leash, and just pay attention to him, because he's going to pick up on them things being around you well before any of you guys pick up on it. Just make sure there's enough of you there and you're armed just in case you have to defend yourself, or one of your friends or your family that's there, or your pet. That's just my 2 cents on it. There's probably people here that have actually been in that situation, and they may have better information for you on it. But that's me personally. That's what I would do. Yeah, I mean, Brad just put something up on there. Sometimes they're friendly to dogs, but mostly what I hear, they will kill them. I hope it helps. Yep, absolutely. I'm right there with you, Brad. I feel the same way. I would not let my dog run. I would have him on a leash where I got him close to me and I can protect him. He could warn me, when they're coming up, or if he senses them, he can warn me that they're there, and I'll know which way not to go, because I do not want to go toward them. I'm very scared of them things, and I don't want to put myself in a situation that I got to pull the trigger on one, because I don't think it would fall in my favor if I had to shoot one. I don't think that would work out good for me at all. But human nature, we get scared, we react, and I don't want to react by shooting something, 8 or 9 foot tall and making him mad. That would not work. Yep, there. Yep, absolutely. Brad says it right there. And bring more gun than you think you're gonna need. Yep, amen. Amen. I'm in agreement with you all the way on that one. Uh, yep, and this is something. Well, where'd it go? Oh, I'm sorry, Harold. I was trying to get Don's up there right quick. Don says, "Don't let them stay in a room with a window when you leave. The Bigfoot could reach in through a broken window and grab them. Keep them in the interior of the house when gone." One of the channels I was watching, I think it was this year, that one of these creatures did come through the window after the I think it was a lady that had dogs there, and it was trying to catch the dogs in the window, but the lady was at home when it happened. I don't remember if that was Bigfoot Odyssey. I don't remember where I heard that at, but that would freak me out. One of them things coming through my window. Oh my Lord! I don't know what I'd do. I'd panic. I would absolutely panic. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome, Rock Ape. Anytime there's anything we can do to help you in any way, or anybody here, just don't never hesitate to reach out to me. And any of you, if there's anything that you need help with personally, even if you don't want it shared, that's fine. But if you'll email me, I do respond. It may take me a day or two to get to it. I'm a little bit behind right now, but I do respond. And if you need any help whatsoever, if it's something that I can help you with, or if I can at least get you pointed in the right direction, I'll absolutely, gladly do it. Do what I can to help. I think we got making sure I'm not missing anyone. I cannot keep up with the chat for some reason. Probably because I'm trying. I can't hardly ever keep up with it. But if there are no, if you don't have anything, if nobody else has any other prayer requests or anything that we need to get out, then if y'all are okay with it and you're ready for it, then I would like to close this out with a prayer for everyone. I'm just making sure I have not missed anybody. That's the clicking y'all are hearing. I'm clicking the mouse. I'm trying to go through all of the comments to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Hey, Jimmy Sapien. Yep, Jimmy says you can use a medium-sized caliber if you can place a brain shot. Yep, absolutely. Know your vitals. They bleed just like we do. Yep, amen. I've heard that a bunch of times. We actually had a guy come on and share. He shot one, and down in Central Florida somewhere, and he came on and shared what happened with us. And I've talked to him for a long time, and I knew about what happened in that encounter, but I didn't know all the details. And he came on and he shared all the details with us on a live show about a year ago, I think it was. And this thing charged him. He had a rifle aiming at it and kept yelling at it to go away. Go get away. I don't want to shoot you. And it lunged at him. And when it got right up on him, he pulled the trigger and shot it in the chest, and he knocked it down. And it fell against the ladder of the tree stand he was in. It kind of, grabbed the rungs when it hit the ground, and it turned and got up, and it took off and then crashed. And there was, it bled. It bled pretty bad from what he was explaining. But there's some other people that were had encounters in that same property, and I talked to him earlier this year, and he's trying to get them lined up, and possibly the landowner to come on and share what they've encountered in regards to the big guys being on the property. But they've had a history with problems with them things on that property. A lot of people that lease that land for huntings had problems with them too. So I'm hoping we can get them people to come on. That would be amazing to get them to share, what they know and what they've witnessed with us. Let's see where we at. Yeah, Kelly says give them a bottle of Jack Daniels so they get drunk, Bigfoot. Yeah, that's what we did. I don't remember what years they did that in. If you remember the history that we were taught, when the Europeans came over, they gave the Native Americans cases of whiskey and got them all drunk before they can come in and whip them. And then they give them blankets that were contaminated with smallpox, I believe it was, and just about wiped them out. I don't know if the big guys, these Sasquatch, I don't know if they can catch that diseases like that, but I'm sure they get something. Let's see. I don't see any other prayer requests coming up. I'm looking. I believe. Yeah. Kelly says get the Bigfoot drunk. Daniel says he don't want him to get to thinking that that he looks like a Miss Bigfoot. That's good. Okay, I'm not seeing anything else. Anything else come up? I'm looking to make sure there's no other prayer requests before we do a closing out prayer for everyone. Oh, thank you, Denise. Yep, it is getting late. It's past my bedtime as well. Yep, absolutely. Well, guys, if y'all are all right with it, if you're ready, I'm going to get a prayer out for everyone. Who we got? We need to pray for Daniel and his situation. We have a lot of people here, our family, and everyone here needs prayers, but there's a few of us that need it far more than others. But we're going to pray for our family in general and all of those outside of us that we come in contact with and we come across. So guys, I hope you're all right with it, but I'm going to lead us off and we will get this show under the road and at the end of the road and behind closed doors and everywhere else. But here we go. If you'd like to, please join me and we'll throw some prayers out. Our Father who art in heaven, we reach out to you tonight and we ask that you touch everyone's hearts and their lives that are hearing our voice tonight, that have joined us here for our chat, for this show. Father, there's many of us that are needing your help and your intervention. There's many that are sick and many that are dealing with loss. And there's some that are lost, that haven't been found yet. Father, we ask that you reach out and you place your hands on the physical bodies of those who need you most. Father, send your spirit to the rest of us. Bless us that we carry your glory with us everywhere that we go and that we honor you through our actions and words. Father, we ask that you heal our brothers and sisters that are part of us here and those that haven't even met us yet, that you heal their bodies, that you heal their minds and their hearts, and whatever loss they're dealing with, whatever sickness, illness, injury, or disease, whatever they're coping with. Father, I ask you in Christ Yeshua, in Jesus' name, that you reach in, you place your glorious hands upon their situation, and you declare that it is so, that it is glorious, and that it honors you. Father, we bless you. We thank you for all that you bless us with, and we ask that you show who you are to the worldwide audience by touching all of those in the foreign countries that are dealing with poisonous and crooked governments, those that are dealing with situations far worse than what we're dealing with here in our own country. Father, remind everyone, every living soul on planet Earth, remind them who you are. Father, cause them to want to reach out to you. My heart goes out to those who are lost and don't know you yet. But Father, I pray that you'll touch their lives and they will hit their knees and they'll raise their hands in praise and glory and thank you for all that you've placed in their lives in the short time that they've learned you. Father, we love you, we bless you, we thank you for this day and for this opportunity. And we give you all the glory and all that we say or do. In Christ Jesus, Yeshua's name, I pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you all. Thank everyone for being here. I absolutely mean that. I love each and every one of you. Y'all are the reason that we do this and we come together and we have a good time at it. And I want to thank Francesca. She's not here with us tonight, but I want to get the thanks out to her. She'll see this for sharing those articles she sent to me. And we'll be sharing the other one, the last one of those, in the next day or two when we do the next show. And I want to thank our brother Don Moore, who's in the chat with us tonight, for sending us the other articles, the Bigfoot articles. And I want to thank each and every one of you for coming here and making this what it is and uplifting me and my family and the prayers that you've all have sent us. Thank you all. God bless you. I love each and every one of you. And if there's something I can do for you, if there's anything that you want to share, no matter what it is, if you just want to testify to something the Lord's done in your life, reach out to me. Send it to me in an email, and we will absolutely put it out there. If you have something you'd like to share, we can do it. You can email me, and I'll share it for you, or you can come on yourself and share it. The door's open. Whatever's best for you, we'll absolutely honor that, and we'll do it. I just want to make sure that, all thanks goes out to those who are sharing these things with us. We just want to give credit where credit is due. And credit for what we do here goes to all of you. And I want to thank you for it. But we will absolutely be doing this again soon. We might end up doing it tomorrow night. I'll have to wait and see what we get finished tomorrow. I knocked off early today. I kind of overdid it this morning. And so I took off early and we got our running around finished. So I had enough time to make this happen. But we're going to be doing it again within the next day or two. And I hope to see you guys and gals there. And again, if you need me, standinggoatsrescue@yahoo.com is the easiest way to get up with me. And if you'll send me an email and write encounter, the word encounter in the subject line. And I do screen my emails, and all of them that have encounter in them, I pull them out first. Those are the very first ones I go through. It does not have to be an encounter. If there's something you want to relay to me or share with me, just write encounter in the subject line, and I will get to it before I get to all the other stuff. I get a wide variety of email. But thank you all. Brother Mike, thank you so much. I didn't even see you in the chat earlier. I apologize. I'm sure I've missed a lot of people. I'm going to do a quick scroll up to make sure I haven't missed no one else. And if I have, please forgive me. Blues and G Music, thank you so much for jumping over and joining us tonight, too. And, of course, the rest of our family that's here. I love you all. Y'all have a phenomenal weekend. Ain't much left. Got a couple hours of it, and the week starts again tomorrow. But I pray that y'all have a wonderful day tomorrow, and life falls in your favor in all that you do. God bless you, and we'll be seeing you guys soon. Y'all have a good night.